Alright guys, back with another video, and this time we're going to be discussing the Gogeta deck. And I've been working on it here at the house and with my teammates, talking about the deck in theory, crafting the list and what would be perfect for being versatile against the meta. And this leader is really fun, and it's nice to have a change of pace, especially with all these new red support cards. And I'll go into detail why this deck has got a big boost from the draft box. So if you know what the leader does, discard Goku or Vegeta BR. So the movie ones, and then draw 2, and you can take a life. So you can awaken at your own pace if your opponent's not wanting to hit you. And if your opponent is hitting you, you don't have to take a life. You just draw free cards like Harugan. Neat on the backside, when you awaken, you draw 1 and untap 1. You get 1 energy and draw 1. So this deck does draw a lot. Then when he attacks, draw a card. Activate battle. You can discard a red card, which most of the deck is, and then for Resurrection Battle, this card becomes a 20k double striker, and so your leader has double strike whenever you want it, and your opponent can activate counter skills that cost 2 or more for the rest of the turn. So it's anti-counterplay via the new topo, which is in the right corner, and then you have all the new counterplay battle cards in general, like Jumbo the Trickster and Gogeta the Cruel for the main ones. Also, neat thing about this, it sets up to where most of the time it's really hard to stop you along with Jiren. The new card Jiren is pretty sweet. If you want to know what he does, you can only control 1, his barrier. So you can play it on turn 1, and when there's 10 or more battle cards in your drop here with 10,000 more power, at the start of your main phase, for every turn, this card gains 25k double strike and dual attack. And your opponent can't activate counter skills at all unless they place 2 cards from their hand to drop area. So if they want to negate, they got to discard 2 cards to do with him, which is very, very powerful. So, when deck wins, you play your little 1-drops that look at the top 3 for each other. For Goku looks for Vegeta's and Vegeta looks for Goku's. And then, boom, you get to maintain more card advantage. At the end of turn, they go back to your hand. So, the fusion product goes back to your hand. And you can grab... So, you play a bunch of targets in this list because you want to... So, these are not that important other than the 1-drops mainly because... They're decent removal in the Vegetas, and the Gokus can attack active mode, which is decent, but they're not really that great. So usually you're not actually playing them unless you're playing the 1-drops. You do fuse for the Vikus and the Gogetas by using a Goku and a Vegeta BR, and they all have the same power. So that if that would ever matter, that doesn't matter. So you fuse for these guys. It's another removal minus 10,000. This one's mainly used to out barrier cards that are minus 10k. It's pretty neat. So, how does the deck play? You get a lot of 10Ks in the drop area with all these fusion materials and the Viku and your super combo. Boom! You play Jiren on turn 1. So for this game, you have a walking threat that only costs you 1 energy at the start of the game. Most of the time, the rest of them get charged unless you have an opponent that can actually remove them. So in the mirror match, this guy becomes actually not that great because he's easy to remove via this card here and this card here. So these guys can remove them pretty easily. That's why we play them. Also, these could be replaced potentially by the new ones that were revealed in the Magnificent Collection. And this is just a current list before Magnificent Collection comes out. So post draft box. Okay, so you're playing passive for the most part, other than attacking a lot with your battle cards and your leader, trying to get them to low life as quick as possible. You have, is that all you got against the aggro decks, against U6, and then after image against other decks that you really need to play defense against? And 3 Denial Hope. So you keep your 2 energy open and get to counterplay their battle cards and play the game how you want. So if your opponent does try to go for something crazy, boom, you can counter it. Especially you can counter Topo and other cards like that are getting in your way, like Vegeta Cruel. So anything that would try to stop you, and whenever it does, boom, 2 energy negated. But usually, this is for counter your opponent's turn plays on their turn if they try to do something. So, we covered most of the defense and the offense. This is a free attacker. Essentially, you just play it for Goku and Fuse for no energy cost, Goku and Vegeta, and they can attack cards in active mode, so it can easily get rid of threats that you don't want on the board. And then all of the Viku fusions, which don't have 2, can sacrifice themselves, and then you get a Goku and a Vegeta back from the drop area. So they refuel your hand back to basically normal, but you lose the battle card. You have another form of removal which is necessary because your whole idea is getting the 8 drop out, and if your opponent doesn't have any battle cards on board, that's what all these removal cards are for, is your opponent takes 2 damage and it's critical. And he has double strike. So this is basically a game ender here. He can also evolve for free over top of the 4-drop, basically. It's a 4-drop fusion, and draw 2 cards. So it gives you the 2 cards to discard for this guy. And they all have the ability of, when they attack cards in active mode, attack a battle card, they switch back to active mode, which is pretty neat. They both have double strike as well. So, the Food Dart Banisher is mainly there for Janemba matchups and helps you enable, even though your Jiren helps you beat the Janemba matchup in most cases, but this helps assure this plus this is just insane. Because you don't need the cards in the drop area for the whole turn, you just need them at the start of the battle, start of the main phase. So these are like last resorts to help you win the game. Also, Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta from the movie, if you don't have it, you can play the Secret Rare if you have it, but I prefer this guy because he costs 4 instead of 5. Dual attack, triple strike, so take 1 up to potentially close out a game. So that's it for the main deck. This is just your generic super combo, 4 or less life if you were wondering. And it's 10k power, which is important. You can play Krillin if you like, but I like this one. Sideboard is pretty generic. I wanted to just go through some scenarios. Green or yellow leader, boom, good Hara Hara. TM, very good against Janemba or any other blue and type deck, Herodogarn, etc. Gallic Canyon, sorry. Decent sideboard card. I'm not exactly sure what I would want to use this for, but it's there just in case you feel like your opponent is trying to do too much. Probably against U6 is probably decent. You got Topo. This is against your 6 most likely, and so is Super Saiyan Vegeta. So this is another draft box card along with these. So all 3 of these draft box cards and Jiren. That's the only draft box card. So you only need a total of 9 draft box cards, but that's kind of a lot for a new deck. So Vegeta is minus 20k to your opponent's entire board, and if it's your opponent's turn, your leader gets 5k. So, and it also reduces the cost by 2 if your leader is red. So this is a good board weapon against U6, and yeah, and it's also really good defense. So you side these in against that, and you draw a lot of cards, so you don't need. You could play 3 at max, but I don't think you really need 3 of any side deck card other than this one, in my opinion, because this one's for the counterplay decks. So I really wanted to stress this against Janemba and other decks like this. These cards right here are super powerful, so you don't have to side these, but if you find room for it, side it. This is also for Janemba and other decks where you feel like you need another finisher other than these guys, because if they swarm the board too much, and it's really hard to win with this card. So try to win with Food Dart Banisher because it's guaranteed damage in the sense. So your leader can give you a guaranteed double strike, and then you just play these guys, and they can't counterplay them. So pretty nice. They can bloodlust them still, so be aware. And then you got Frieza Army Reborn. Boom. This card is pretty insane, but I'm not sure if it's really necessary in this format, so it's here just as an option. So these are open options in the sideboard. You can play that or something else. Maybe a 13. But thank you guys for watching, and if you guys would like this video and comment below which deck you want to see next. But I'm thinking I'm posting a Spicy Trunks from Set 2 deck profile. It's very, very cool. And a friend of mine sent me a skeleton of what he thought the deck would look like, and it uses some of the new draft box cards. And I really liked his idea at first, and then I was like, wait a minute, I can make this a bit better. So, and if you guys want to see, it uses this card. So get these while you can. I'm probably gonna, just a note, it's only 2, so it's not like nothing crazy, but I may try a 3rd because it's actually pretty powerful having a red and blue energy. So those new draft box cards may make this deck a little better as well. So thank you guys once again for watching, and I'm sorry if you guys watched the video before. I accidentally recorded with no audio. So thank you guys for watching. Deuces.